Hi, I'm Connie Romanek, SLP at Communicate, and I'm back to tell you all about our new and improved Touch and Talk language learning kit. Now, this kit is really focused on sentence comprehension and sentence construction, meaning how well do the children understand the sentences they hear and how well can they express themselves in sentence form. And that's important because we normally speak to each other in sentences that describe what we see or hear, think or feel. So that is a very important part of language development, and that's what we're going to practice. We're also going to work on building vocabulary because vocabulary is the cornerstone of language and every single word counts. In this case, we're going to get in there, we're going to teach basic concept words, and we're going to show them how to become good word learners on their own. So we're going to do that. We're going to continue to work on verbal working memory. So challenging them to be able to hold on to verbal information in their short-term or working memory until they can complete that task. And of course, what is it all about if it's not about social communication, our ability to convey messages with another person. So we're going to make sure we establish and practice those skills too, such as paying attention to people's faces and body language, the nonverbal language, recognizing when there's a communication breakdown, and figuring out how to repair it. So that is all right here in this box. So let's open it up and see what's in here and what you're going to use to help children with all those incredible language skills. And it always starts with our picture cards, of course. This is our secret sauce. This is me, 30 years of clinical pediatric experience, right here in these cards. This is my take on what children usually have difficulty learning and how to teach it, how to level it, how to support it. So this time we have 100 picture cards. Previously in our last version we just had 60. So there's more secret sauce to pour over the yummy items you're gonna see pretty soon. We have them in 3 levels of increasing difficulty, as always, with an extension activity. We have 30 cards, 30 cards, 30 cards, and 10 cards, making the math super easy. Now, when it comes to the type of sentences we're practicing here, I'm going to start off at level 1 and show you that this level has, first of all, 3 critical pieces of information embedded in it. That's why we have the bolded words, to show you which words they need to understand and hold in working memory. So we know there's 3 things here, and one of those things is always going to be a position word. In Bears and Chairs, we were really focused on teaching position words because they are an incredibly important group of words. So we're going to continue to practice this here in a new and bigger activity. Every picture card in these 3 levels is going to contain a position word. So we're going to make sure that is mastered as best we can, and that is a group of basic concept words. So we've got that all happening, and on top of that, we have a very common sentence form to practice. This sentence says, the frog is in the box. So what's happening here? We have a noun phrase, the frog. We have an auxiliary verb, is. And the English language is built on this auxiliary verb, is and are. And that wasn't present in Bears and Chairs because that was an instructional sentence and it didn't have the word is in it. But we need the word is for a lot of different reasons. You'll just have to take my word for it for now. So we've got a noun verb, a noun phrase, an auxiliary verb, and then the next part is in the box. So that is a prepositional phrase. And of course, it has a preposition at the beginning of that phrase. So we've got noun phrase plus auxiliary verb plus prepositional phrase. So that is how we continue to build our sentences. We have our phrases, we add another phrase, and then it grows and grows and becomes more and more complex, and we add some grammar in there as well. So this is what's happening. I've done all the planning, all the thinking for you. So that's level 1. Level 2 is where we add one more piece of information, and you're going to see pretty soon that's going to be a descriptive word. And that's how we're going to teach our basic concept words as well. And then in the 3rd level, we've got 4 to 5 pieces of critical information, and we're really going to be targeting some quantity concepts in this level. And then our extension activities, all about categorization. So let's have a look at the items now and see how we're going to roll those out. Previously, we had 40 items in our Touch and Talk kit. Now we have 50. So that's a lot of things to lay on the table right at the beginning and expect a child to be able to process and look at everything and think about everything. So we're going to start smaller this time. In level 1, we're only going to start with 20 items. We're going to start with these 4 shapes: square, circle, heart, and star. Now we had shapes in our previous kit, but what's new is that they are all different sizes now on purpose so that you can hit some of the grammatical targets coming to play in these sentences. And one of those important grammatical structures is the use of comparative markers ER and EST. So we got big, bigger, bigger, biggest. So all these things are here in different sizes by design so you can practice that grammatical structure. We still have our box with the lid. We still have a frog, but it's slightly different this time. It's more natural looking and it's not sticky. It still feels absolutely wonderful. And that is a new addition. We're trying to make everything more natural to the touch and to sight as possible. We have a tall stump. The short one is coming. A medium pom-pom. We still have our beautiful butterfly. Our tiny bumpy ladybug is back. But now she found a friend, a tiny glass bee. So that it has stripes, big buggy eyes, glass wings. They are good friends. Our spiders are back, but we're only starting with 1 in level 1. Our gorgeous diamond is back. I couldn't let this one go, that's for sure. It is so, it's heavy, it's high quality, it's got a nice point on it. There's a lot to talk about with that diamond. And we now have another emerald, but this time it's in the typical shape of an emerald, being a rectangle. So we actually have another shape word here, and it's smaller than the diamond. So we have that ER comparative marker coming in too when we talk about comparing sizes. Our biggest gold bell. We have a long skeleton key now, a long gold skeleton key. That is new to this kit, as well as our red maple leaf is new. That is our ode to Canada, as we are Canadians here at Communikit. And we have 1 silver coin, the rest are on their way, and we have a long and stretchy caterpillar. This is replacing our snake in our previous version. The snake was a little too sticky probably, and a lot of people are scared of snakes, so we switched it out with this great caterpillar. He can still stretch, and of course I love how it's associated with the butterfly, since caterpillars turn into butterflies. We have a nice association there, and that is how we're going to build vocabulary as well, showing kids how words are related. So those are the 20 items that we start with. And you know, when you lay them out, this is the time to get talking about how they feel so that you can hit those basic concept words. So, you know, when you get it out, oh, this is rough, this is squishy, this is light and beautiful. Ooh, it's a bit bumpy. Look, it's translucent. I can see right through it, noisy, and so on. So let them explore everything before you get to the picture cards and teach that basic concept word vocabulary while they have the sensation in their hand. That is so important for the littles. They have to take the sensory information, that very concrete information that they can feel, and then you make the association with the language piece. Squishy, soft, stretchy. While they're doing those things, you're adding the words to make that connection and get it stored in their vocabulary filing cabinet. So that's level 1. So we've got great sentences to begin with. We got some super cool items. We got lots of words we can be talking about. And then when you're ready for more for level 2, bring in the yellow cards. Now you'll notice that that was 3 pieces. This is 4 pieces of critical information. And one of those pieces, the additional piece of information, going to be a basic concept word or an adjective, and that's how we're going to add another critical piece of information. So we have to have some things that contrast or add to this. And so it's time to bring in our other two leaves. We got an oak leaf and a poplar leaf. They are also different sizes by design, you know, big, medium, small, or small, bigger, biggest. So that is something you can talk about there. We have our short stump coming in. Now every stump, every set of stumps will be different in every kit. I mean, for the most part, they're gonna look just like this, but I literally cut these stumps down from the poplar trees on my property with a mini chainsaw, brought it into the shop, cut them all up with my chop saw so that everybody could have a really cool, natural looking stump. There's so many things to talk about here. So we have tall and short, as compared to long and short. So we've got a short caterpillar coming in, and I know from my experience that children often have a difficulty at first understanding that we use the word long when it's horizontal and tall when it's vertical. It's a great thing to teach. It's very functional and something that it takes them a while to get unless you explicitly teach it. We're going to bring in our other two pom-poms. So we started with medium. Now we're going to have big, medium, and small, or small, bigger, biggest. We're going to, oops, I forgot to bring in this red basket in level 1. Sorry, it started there in level 1. Level 2, we bring in the blue one for another point of contrast. This time we're going to use a color word. We're going to bring in our short skeleton key. So we have a long and short caterpillar, long and short keys. All right, we're going to bring in our gold coin. So now we have silver and gold, so some new color words to add another piece of information. We're going to bring in the rest of our gold bells, our other two. So we got big, medium, and small bells. We're going to bring in one more spider so that we can use plural markers now and adding some grammar here. Our triangle shape fits right here, so it is also in with the size arrangement. And then we also have a ruby coming into this level. And this ruby is new to our kits, and it is an oval shape. So now you actually have 7 shape words to work on. And of course, by design, it is the smallest gem. Whoops. So we can say, you know, big, medium, small, or small, bigger, biggest. Again, we can use our comparative markers. Those are absolutely great grammatical structures to make sure children have. And there you go. That's level 2. So we actually added 14 items. So we started with 20. We've added 14. And now it's time to add the remaining items, the remaining 16 items. And what that is going to allow us to do is start to use some of these quantity concept words in this kit, or in this level, sorry. In this level, we have a ton of really great quantity concept words because that's the language of math. And we use those words all the time as well. So we got to make sure kids know them. So we've really targeted a number of them being both, all except, couple, few, several, many, more, less, most, least, equal, and each and every. That's a lot, and that's going to really set them up for success in the area of math. Now, the other thing I just want to mention while I'm talking about that is this card has the quantity word few. As you can see there, it says a few spiders are crawling away from the butterfly. Now, in my mind, few means 3 to 5. And I literally just had to make that executive decision while we were creating these images. You want to change it, change it. But I've got that in brackets 3 to 5. And that's why in the image, you'll see 3 dark spiders because few definitely starts in my mind with at least 3 and kind of tops out at 5. So we'll see 3 dark ones, and then you could say 4 or 5. So those are options if you want to stretch it. And then the same thing happens with the word several. In this kit, I am just saying several means 6 to 9. So you'll see 6 to 9, you'll see 6 dark spiders, that definitely has to be there, and you could add up to 3 more spiders. And then many is going to be 9 plus. So there we go. So that's that's level 3 picture cards. The quantity concepts come in, so of course you're going to need some more items, and that's going to be the pink pom-poms. We got big, medium, and small. We have the other 2 coins, so now we have a couple of gold ones and a couple of silver, or a few coins all together. We're going to bring in the rest of the bells, small, medium, and large, and the rest of the spiders, so we can use some of those quantity concepts, such as few, several, and many. So there we go. We have everything we need here to work on all this really important language. And then of course we've got our extension activity, which is all about categorization. Again, we're going to show kids how to be good word learners on their own by teaching them that words can be related in many different ways. So this categorization activity is going to say, find all the shapes. So they got to put all the shapes together. Find all the long things, find all the short things, find all the gems, find all the bumpy things. So we're going to challenge them to be flexible thinkers by using the same items and grouping them in different ways. And that's how we build good word learners. We're going to establish a vocabulary filing cabinet for them. We're going to get them started. At first, they're just going to throw words in randomly because they don't have that many to begin with. But as their vocabulary grows, they need to get organized. They can't just chuck them in there anywhere and then expect to be able to find them later. We got to show them that no, they belong in this drawer, in this hanging filing device, and in this folder, so that and they can be associated in different ways. So that's going to really help them in their life, because they're going to need to learn a lot of words very quickly every year. Okay, so we've talked about the picture cards, the sentences, the verbal working memory, the descriptive vocabulary, and now you're probably wondering, okay, that looks great, that sounds great, but really, how do you use it? And if you haven't heard before, I'm just going to quickly review that right now, because it's always as easy as 1, 2, 3. So let's pretend we're here at level 3. We've got all the items out. Okay, and this is how it goes. Ideally, I'm sitting across from the child, face to face, so I'm scrunching down because I do really want to be at their level if possible. The items are over within reach to the child, and the adult picks up the picture cards, takes one of them, and reads the sentence to the child, or change it if you want. But I'm going to read the sentence. That is step 1, and it says, the red leaf is on top of both of the keys. The red leaf is on top of both of the keys. So the child listens to that. They make the arrangement as best they understand. That's number 2. And I reveal the picture card number 3. I read it, they did it, I reveal it. And so by revealing it with the picture card, they're going to see the image that matches that language. And if they did it great, perfect. And if they didn't, if they maybe did something like this, well, you know exactly where it went wrong. You know that they either mixed up the word order, they mixed up the position word, then you talk about it again, you make sure you teach that language, make sure you put it back in a sentence, and that is really how it goes. That's when they're the listener, which is the best place to start, is having them be the listener, so they're understanding this language before they are tasked to use the language. But when they're ready to work on their expressive language skills, switch positions. Move the objects within your reach. They get the picture cards. They pick up a picture card and describe the image to you. I don't want them reading, because we're not working on reading comprehension, although you can with these cards. But first, you have to make sure they have the oral language, because written language represents oral language. If you don't have this oral language, the reading is going to be very, very weak. So if discourage them from reading if you're not working on reading comprehension, and have them describe that image to you. Now, they're not going to describe it exactly as it's written. I mean, I said it exactly as it's written to give them a good idea on how to construct a sentence that describes this image, but they're not going to remember all of that. The point is that they are able to describe this image with the right words, in the right word order, with the right grammar. And they're going to be paying attention to you to see if you got it. And that's what it's all about. So that's basically how it works. Each level goes back and forth, receptive, expressive, and so on. I think that is really all I have to say about this kit. I love the sensory aspect of this kit. If you've got kids who are really needing to learn by activating more senses in the language learning process, this is ideal. And actually, that is really important for all young children because, again, we need to match their sensory experience with the language, bringing it from concrete to abstract. Thank you so much for listening, and please check out my next explainer video on our new Super Sentences kit. Talk to you soon.